what's up guys? Sound guy with a dash cam here. It's been a while since I've done any actual updates. There hasn't really been that much of note that I really wanted to put into one video, and now there is. So, I've got a lot to go over. I have a long drive, but I'm trying to not make this a long video. So, we're just going to hop right into it and start, save the content stuff for last. Start with just what have I been up to? The answer is a lot. So, I'm dating someone who lives about an hour and a half away from me, so a lot of extra driving, a lot of going and doing cool stuff. So you'll probably hear her in some of these clips a decent bit. I'm doing a lot of travel. I had a wedding in New Jersey in November that I drove for, which you might have been able to tell by the 3 or 4 videos in a row that did not feature Wisconsin. I did a lot of driving. I mean, that was 19 hours each way, so it was a lot. Just because of detours and meeting up with people and all that fun stuff. A lot of driving around Wisconsin too. A couple trips down to Milwaukee, a lot of Door County, some further west and north, like up toward Crivets, or west toward Wausau, or Stevens Point, which is where my girlfriend lives. So I'll touch on that in a second as far as what that means for content. And yeah, just, a lot of exploring around. Been still doing the gaming stuff, which I will very briefly touch on at some point. I'm mostly just streaming when I feel like it, and otherwise I'm not pushing too much content as far as that's concerned. I might eventually get back into it a little bit more, but I got catching up to do on some other stuff. I got some big changes on this channel, and I just got other stuff I want to focus on. And currently I really have time to play and not much time to edit the playing, so I just haven't been. Aside from that, the normal whiskey stuff, picking up some new computers. I picked up a Dell Dimension, which is like a early 2000s desktop that runs Windows XP, specifically to play a couple old games. Picking up an old Lenovo ThinkCenter to do some Linux stuff, an old Mac of some sort for QLab and other audio stuff, like old versions of Logic. Aside from that, there's some travel coming up. I'm going to touch more on that in the work stuff, although in October I do have a drive for another wedding. This time I am a groomsman, and it's for my little brother, and we're going to be in upstate New York, around close-ish to Rochester, Canandaigua, Ithaca, and that kind of area. So that'll be awesome. And my girlfriend, Kylie, instead of having to say my girlfriend a million times, Kylie's going to be joining me for all that stuff, so that'll be fun. Aside from that, I picked up playing Pokemon Go, and I've been playing a lot of it. Kylie does as well as a couple real-life friends, so that's been a lot of fun to just sort of, make that a thing I do, make that a point to get out of the house every day. And of course, alright, we're going to have to just kind of, I can't move over. What? Bro, stop slowing down with me, bro. Jag off. Okay. Anyway, sorry about that. That pretty much covers the personal life stuff, so we're going to hop into the work stuff, because the audio stuff is another big facet of what can show up on this channel, and the travels and all that. So, been busy, a lot of neat events, a breakdancing troupe, an immersive hanging light exhibit that was really cool. Now we're doing something that's more of like, it's almost like a masseuse type thing, but it's a show. Like, it's hard to explain. It's pretty cool. A lot of other random stuff here and there, concerts in art museums, all kinds of fun stuff. I have a freelance gig in March in Pittsburgh, which will take me back to the lovely city, which Kylie will be joining for me as well. But it means I get to spend a little over a week in my old stomping grounds. There'll be obviously some content as far as Dashcam goes from there. I'm staying with a buddy a little bit north of Pittsburgh, to make the trip financially worth it, although it pays handsomely for a week, so it ain't too bad. Got some potential freelance stuff with the same theater I was working with this past summer, helping them out with a couple little things here and there, although I have been going up there just to see shows as well and explore Door County as one does. I have a buddy that I met out here through some whiskey groups that runs an IT company out here, and I've been helping him out a little bit as far as, it was mostly warehouse stuff up in Wausau, so an hour and a half to 2 hours from where I am in Green Bay, and potential to help him out with some other stuff along the lines as far as audio goes, and as far as just some general assistance when things pop up that he might need a hand on. Reaching out for some stuff in the Green Bay area, as well as some stuff in the Sheboygan area, so that'd be pretty cool. Work occasionally has me staying in Sheboygan, so that affects the content a bit because I'm staying in an apartment that they own, and so there have been some periods of time where I'm down here for like a week and I'm not around Green Bay, which is nice, especially on bad weather days, but you know. And as far as work, I'm learning some new stuff that might be cool to do some tutorials or some time lapses of in the future, with working on stuff in Vectorworks and doing some lighting stuff. There might be some content as far as like time lapses of throwing a GoPro on one of our scissor lifts as we're going around doing stuff, or just time lapses of setups. That'd be pretty cool. Yeah, that honestly pretty much covers that as well. We'll touch on the car real quick. So, been chugging along. I think the last time I did this, I was in the low 50s for mileage. I am at pushing 72,000 miles. I've been averaging about 4,000 a month, maybe slightly less, excuse me, on average. But been having a lot of these longer drives coming up, so who knows how that's going to get skewed in either direction. I put snow tires on it. I got some Nexen, what are they called? Nexen wind spikes. So they're studdable winter tires. I picked them up used. I mean, they're practically new, older tires, but they're still within a reasonable. They're pushing 6 years old, which I know 7 years is where you really want to stop using them, but they're practically new, no dry rotting, no nothing, and I got them on steel wheels for $50, and they've been going like a champ. I threw them on at 57,000 miles, and here we are, 67,000 miles I threw them on. Yeah, that sounds more correct. So yeah, it's been good overall. Just gave it a good clean. It needed it. I've gone a little while between road salt and just having to eat on the road and stuff that I don't like to do. And I'm trying, one of my New Year's resolutions is to keep this damn thing clean inside and out. Outside is a little bit harder with all the road salt, as I've learned very quickly. But trying to keep all that in order. All the driving, you know, I'm racking up miles. I drive 70 miles each way for work each day. Kylie lives an hour and a half away. It's about 100 miles. If I leave from work, it's about 120 miles. But it's shorter than going up to Green Bay and going over to her. Door County is between 50 and 80 miles each way whenever I go there, plus the other stuff. So it adds up quick. I'm driving 5 days a week. I'm driving over 125 miles minimum. And then obviously add on to that whenever I go visit her or whenever I do other stuff. So, you know, it adds up very quickly. At 57,000, I threw a serpentine belt and a alternator belt on here because I was getting some chirping out of one of them. They're good on mileage, but they're older belts, so I figured it was time, and did an oil change. Just did another one. I have to replace one of the side marker lights, which is really annoying because I have to take apart I have to basically get at it through the wheel well, which is very annoying. But one of these days I'll sit down and do that. It's not imperative, so I'm not too pressed on it. I don't know how long it's been out. I just noticed it today. It couldn't have been that long, but you know. Yeah, that pretty much covers, you know, the car stuff. So now we're going to get into the big thing real quick, which is the content, because I got some pretty significant changes. So, pushing 600 subs. Pretty excited about that. You know, I just do this for fun, so it's always nice if people actually want to watch the stuff. But that being said, I'm experimenting with some new formats and some other stuff for this year. Before I get to that, the worst drivers of 2024 is coming. I wanted to get the last 2 or 3 videos that have 2024 footage posted and then add those to the end of this, the worst of video, so I could get the whole year because of my new plans for this. So expect that soon. I've been editing a little bit each day, slowly getting caught up, but some days, like today, for example, taking a little break from it. Just because it does get a little tedious when there's a lot of middle of nowhere or middle of nothing drives that I have to basically comb through very quickly, but it just gets tedious. I'm also changing a little bit of the criteria for the footage I include. You know, I'm still more selective than I was before. But people rolling a stop sign at 5 to 10 miles an hour, usually closer to 5. I'm not going to include that anymore. I'm going to include like obviously barely slowed down type of stuff. Just so that, yeah, it might mean posting a couple less videos, but they're going to be better. A couple other little stupid things won't get included, but for the most part, it'll otherwise remain unchanged as far as the criteria for what I put in a video. There'll still be random little interesting things. I have a new intro and outro, and I did put new transitions for the personal mistakes and the random stuff, but I'm actually doing away with that entirely. I'm getting rid of that starting with the 2025 footage, just because it sort of breaks up the flow of it, where if I scatter that same stuff throughout, you never know what you're going to get on each clip, and it's not, you know, I put everything in at random, so you can get some of the more interesting clips much later in the video, so it sort of incentivizes actually watching stuff through and, you know, seeing the neat stuff that gets thrown in there, the neat scenery and all that stuff. So yeah, we're changing that up. Sorry, I'm trying to consult my notes a little bit here. I'm going to be eventually making a new channel intro that sort of weeds out a little bit of the extra stuff I don't really include as much. Dude, you gotta stop messaging like 4 times to say one fucking thing. That's how you get muted. Whoops. I should not be doing this while driving. Don't do what I do, kids. It's vibrating my watch, so that was driving me nuts that I had someone trying to tell me something in 5 messages that could have taken 1 message in 1 sentence, actually. So, anyway, sorry. Yeah, so that kind of stuff will be interspersed throughout. The thumbnails, I've always done kind of like an image with just episode on it. I'm done doing that. I want to do something that grabs you a little bit more, so it'll be actual screen grabs from one of the clips throughout the video that sort of tries to reel you in a little bit, which I really should have been doing, but the new channel intro that sort of pulls out some of the things that don't really get included anymore. If I keep one at all, I might not. I really might not. We're going to kind of see. I don't know what I want to make of that, so who knows. I'm going to do a review of this camera, which there's going to be a whole thing about that, so that's going to take a little bit, but it'll make more sense once I do the review. I'm going to start making some shorts every once in a while of the closer calls, just to sort of increase some traffic, you know, same old algorithm bullshit, but it's, you know, I'm realizing that if I actually want people to click on the stuff, it's sort of essential to do, so I'm going to do that. Might get an occasional commute karaoke, whether it's recorded this way or with a different mount or something. I've yet to find out. I sort of just thought of that today, where I kind of want to get back into that a little bit, so we'll see. Time lapses, same thing. You might get an occasional one, just because I've had some neater drives recently, and every once in a while, I don't know, maybe I'll feel like editing something. It really won't take too long, but I don't know. There could be some neat footage, because it's very different from my time lapses in Pittsburgh. Very different scenery, so who knows. I'm also going to be doing some throwbacks, where I go back into some of my older videos and find things that really could have been their own clip and make them their own clip again, make them fresh and new. Might find them in one of those like mega driving school compilations, because there's some that I really could have put as their own and submitted, and I didn't, and so I might go back and do some of that. I did that once before, called it like I forget if I called it throwbacks or like the vault, something along those lines. But speaking of, I'm gonna go back to my old archive videos that I did, which were like the really old footage from before I really started posting anything, and I'm gonna do a worst of those, so that next time I do some kind of like 1,000 subscribers worst of ever, I can include ones in there that really should be included. I did a mega compilation, you might have seen. If you haven't, it's like 4 hours of just the really bad drivers. It's honestly like, I wish all my videos could be like that as far as content, because it's like the best of the best from 7 years of footage. So yeah, there's going to be a worse stuff for the archive stuff eventually. We'll see how that goes. I might decide against that if I decide the footage is too low quality, which I very well might. I'm now spoiled by nice dash cams and reminisce on the iPod days, recording in 720p, and in some cases even lower. So, maybe not. We'll see. I'm also going to be doing some slight tweaks as far as like changing up the playlists a bit, maybe going through and editing some old titles and descriptions to further match what I'm doing now, as well as editing my current descriptions to match things a little bit more now and promote some new stuff, promote the audio more, back off on promoting the gaming a little bit, although I will promote my Twitch, which all of the stuff that I mentioned is linked in the description, so check it out. The other big thing I'm going to do is there's going to be a worst of the year video, but I didn't intend for this to be modeled after some of those like RR and BD videos and like the Mega Driving School ones where they do worst of the month, or like the car crashes and whatever. Now mine obviously won't necessarily be car crashes, but I'm going to do a worst of the month as well, because those, like, the ones that include that kind of stuff tend to be the ones that get more clicks, and quite frankly, if I put out my regular compilations and those get some clicks, but then I put out those more frequently, instead of having like 2 worst driver videos a year, it's like, okay, worst of the month, cool, you can see the highlights at the end of each month, and it draws more people in that don't necessarily want to watch all of it, which, no problem, I get it. I don't sit there and watch them either. Watch them as I make them. I used to watch what other people do as far as those all the time, and now there's other content I watch. And I understand that there'll be a handful of people that watch them, and a lot of y'all won't. So I'll put out the stuff that y'all will. So yeah, that's the other big thing. I might do occasional tutorials. I might do a tutorial on changing the side marker light on this car, because it is a pain in the ass. Might do a couple other little things, who knows. Those things kind of show up as they show up, so if I feel a reason to, I will put one up, who knows. Same with the whiskey stuff. I have an old review that I recorded on the lake this summer that I might eventually actually edit and put up. I had recorded the audio separately and everything too, and it's a bigger project than I've had time to want to deal with. And I haven't been recording whiskey reviews. I wanted to even get into typing up a review every couple nights, and I fell off of that very quickly, and I want to hop back on that. So we'll see. But between that, the work time lapse, I mean, I got a lot of maybes there where you might see occasional stuff. None of them are my focus, and if I don't get to them for a while, I don't get to them, and that doesn't bother me. It's just the bad driver or dash cam stuff I really want to get put out. But I've been rambling for I can't see how long with this dash cam. Been rambling for a little while, so that's really all I got. So hopefully everyone's well. Hopefully everyone had a great holiday season, great New Year, great everything like that. I'm in Wisconsin to stay, for at least for the next while, and I look forward to seeing what cool new stuff comes out of it and what new stuff I can put out for y'all. So that being said, thanks for listening to me ramble. Thanks for checking out all my content, all that fun stuff. And yeah, I'll see you guys in